Today we consider the story of a prophet who heard the voice of God, yet loved gold and silver more than obedience. Balak, the king of Moab, was afraid of Israel when they camped in Moab. Because they were many, he hired Balaam, son of Beor, to curse Israel for him. He sent elders with the diviner's fee to Balaam, who asked them to stay for the night as he waited for word from the Lord. The Lord told Balaam, "You shall not go with them, you shall not curse the people, for they are blessed." The following day Balaam did send them off back to Balak and told them, "The Lord refused to give me permission to go with you." Then Balak again sent princes, more numerous and honorable than the first ones, and promised to honor Balaam greatly. Though Balaam knew the will of God, he still told them to stay for the night, that he may again ask of God, hoping for a different answer. This shows desire for the reward, not submission to God's will. God permitted Balaam to go, but he told him, "Only the word which I speak to you, that you shall do." But after Balaam had saddled his donkey and went with the princes of Moab, God's anger was aroused because he went. This shows God permitted Balaam's request but did not approve of his motive, for his motivation was corrupt, with a heart set on gain, not on submission. God sent his angel who stood in Balaam's path and his donkey 3 times, not to stop his journey but to warn him of his intention, for the angel said to him, "Your way is perverse before me." Balaam went and blessed Israel as the Lord commanded. His mouth honored God, but his heart still listened for the sound of gold and silver. Balaam knew that he couldn't curse Israel, yet he still wanted the riches. Balaam realized he could not stop God's blessing, but he could corrupt God's people by leading them into sin, knowing that God would ultimately judge their disobedience. So he advised Balak to lead Israel into sin through committing sexual immorality and eating things sacrificed to idols. God's anger arose against Israel, and 24,000 were killed in the plague. We also see this doctrine of Balaam today. It doesn't say reject God, but it says you can serve God and still go to mediums if life is tough. God understands human nature is weak. Don't mind when you sin, grace covers it all. Yet all this leads to disobedience, which ultimately leads to death. For by grace we die to sin and can't live in it any longer. So let's learn this about Balaam. He was a gifted prophet who knew God's voice, spoke true prophecy, yet loved reward more than obedience. His downfall was not ignorance but divided loyalty. He honored God with his lips, yet silver and gold already had a seat in his heart. He stands as a permanent warning that spiritual gifts without a surrendered heart lead not to honor, but judgment. Be blessed as you obey God's word in both deeds and the intentions of your heart.